Now it's working. This is a disaster of a broadcast. The computer decided to reinstall Windows. Yeah. Is it? Yeah. My computer decided to reinstall Windows as part of some sort of internal upgrade or something, and nothing works properly anymore. So I've just been talking to myself for the 10 minutes I had YouTube on. It's working now though. 2-second fix. Hey. No problem. I've just noticed the rather bug-ridden Discord, OBS, has managed to lose all the overlays, even though they're all still there. No time to sort them out now. This is why sometimes the test race is useful, so I can test all these things are working. I don't know why OBS has decided to stop a lot of stuff from working properly. Can actually move me down here though. Slightly less in the way. So I ended up in P19. That's not good. Don't think we're helping the Aston Martin cars back here, but let's see where we finish. $50 to go. There's a lot of mid to high level tier drivers in this split as well, I think. Tier 5 and 6. Oh, best at drive. Always nearly forget. Right, let's set the pit stop now. Let's set the driver. Already set. Tyres are set. Fuel is set. So that's the pit stop set up. If I need to pit for repairs, remind me to not put you in the car, Morphy.
Stay single file.
Actually, I just said that to myself if he's not watching YouTube. Pit stop's all set up, Morphy, but I've put you as next driver, so I need to go into the car, into the pits for repairs. Remind me to not put you in the car. Or is it? At the moment, I've left it on, so I don't have to worry about it in the race.
Stay away from curbs.
Something I've learned. Something I've learned from the season 4 is you can do your pit stop config in the warm-up lap, and then you don't have to worry about it. Yeah. Oh, Catalan's just in front of us. mean, he won our tier and he went right up, didn't he? He was in 4, was he, or something this last season? It's quite funny because you've got no chance of warming these tyres up. I usually do. I'm usually blessed. I got my tyres from deep blue to light blue anyway.
Going double file.
Oh dear, we're on the outside for T1. Not the safest place to be. Inside's usually safest because accidents go outwards.
Green light, show them what you got. Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the right.
Little Johnny watching this
Clear on the
YouTube.
right.
He'll be all upset now. So I'll stop. They've done well. I've only moved up to P17. That would have been challenging. There's only 2 places or so behind us.
Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Gave Gann too much space. I thought he was going to come back into us.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
That was exciting. Certainly takes some unusual lines.
Well done, mate. Personal fastest lap. Car on the left. Clear on the left. There's a slow car up ahead.
I know, it's Martinez. Audi making a very ambitious dive then. Oh, it's Cotte. I think I've had run-ins with him before. Master of the ambitious dives.
Sector 3. Well done, mate. This has been your personal best. Yellow flag ahead.
Whoa.
Right in front.
Wow, there we go. P14. P14. Somebody's in the pits as well.
Personal best. Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the right.
Can we out-drag a Porsche?
On the right.
No is the answer. It's one of them where he's just quick enough to stay in front.
Yellow flag ahead, good job. Gaining on the car ahead in sector 1. Well done, mate. The fastest lap so far. Slow car ahead.
It's Dukes. He always goes wide there and then cuts across.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Success! Ooh. That was really close. Oh,
We have some light damage at the rear of the car.
no. Could be one for the stewards. I think he's bugging himself up though. Car's going around corners a little bit funny. Have a look on the straight. Yeah, we got repairs. 3.5 seconds. He's hurt my little car. See how it handles. Just feels a little bit loose at the back at the moment. See how the next lap or two look. We're in P13 though, not bad at all.
I'm gaining on the car heading sector 2.
Yeah, it looks okay. Some shenanigans going on in front as well. Puff of dust then. That might give us a chance. Ooh. Just on to stay clean off then. Can't have excuses now. I'm up on time. Gotta catch Gand. Can't be in P13, it's unlucky.
Gaining on the car ahead in sector 2.
Apparently I am gaining time on Gand. They are indeed. Yeah, I noticed. Remember when we couldn't take that corner flat?
Well done, mate. Personal fastest lap.
I found leaving the turning in really late, even past the end of the concrete, works really well. What? Martinez is having a second wind. Although actually I'm a second down this lap, I don't know where though.
Yellow flag, be careful there.
That was one of these three, wasn't it? That was one of those three who's just gone off. Hill.
Losing to the car ahead in sector 1.
It would help. Oh, oh no, one of the Aston Martins is a lap down. Vince isn't in this. A J. Holm. Disaster. I think it'd be too early for a team pit though. We're only 30 minutes in. You mean a team like Andrax's team? Have you seen his plans for the 12 hours of Suzuka? Yeah. I'll just end up bringing in minimum driving times, like we do in real life. Gan's pulling away, isn't he? Looks that way. Dukes is pulling away too. A bit of a sloppy lap from me doesn't help either. I think you just saw Dukes do a 45. Kind of feels that way, but I don't think it's. Any info on the pit wall? Do you want me to turn off repairs? Only 3 seconds, but I've made up places. Personally, I don't think it's too bad. I've got used to it pretty quick. But it's you said the car was feeling loose for you anyway. Teamwork, Morphy, teamwork. 21 litres left, 10 laps. Whoops.
Losing time to the car in front in sector 2.
Unfortunately, it's car a lap down, isn't it? It's behind Martinez, can't put him off. Is he closing up? Or has he closed up?
Losing pressure on the right wheel.
It's giving them the old losing pressure message, where it always does that when your tyres are just low. Just seemed closer actually. It was home. It took him a long time to get there, I think. Can't have a few bad laps, so Martinez has really closed up. Martinez can never take this corner very well, so got no chance at the end of the main straight. Unless he does a complete suicide run. Holmes right on him. Excellent. It just takes away the pressure a bit. Now it's confusing. It's a fellow Aston Martin behind us. Certainly is a fellow Aston Martin for sure.
Gaining on the car ahead in sector 3.
Let's wait for the right spot.
left. Clear on the left.
They always do. Got fuel for 6 more laps. Looks like Martinez has recovered as well. Oh, that's better. 1.2 seconds now. To Martinez. I kept it together for a lap and he's 1.2 seconds away. Now 1.5. Four minutes, technically. 5 laps of fuel on board, 11 litres. Refuel is still set at 60 litres. It's been just right for my stint. It's coming back. Whoop. Tried to bite me then. Now the car stepped out on the final bend and gave me a chance to catch up, that's all. You know, all these single drivers do have a huge advantage over us, don't they? You won't have a feel for the car of a track or anything when you get in it. Or a separate award. I don't have pace. P11 by the look of the gods. Warrior Army's consistent. And I try not to have mistakes go off. Six litres of fuel left, 2 laps. Nearly time, Murphy. We're at 45 minutes dead.
We're at the halfway mark. Keep pushing. He'll be rubbing his hands together when we pit. He'll know that'll be his chance to make up some time. Yeah. Got one more lap after this. It's now a bad time to mention I don't recall practicing pit stops in this. I didn't practice pit stops in this. I know I do pit stops at Zandvoort, but I don't know how to align the car. We'll work it out. The car is exiting the pits, watch out.
Uh-oh, it's Penfold.
Falling behind to the car in front in sector 3.
That looked like a spectacular attempt to improve my time, but I actually missed my braking point. We were in gear by the time we hit the corner. I bet it's going to be dead busy in the pit lane. Is it dead busy in the pits? Martinez is still 1.5 seconds behind. Maybe he'll do something dumb like forget to pit and get DQ'd. Oh no, I wasn't sure if the GT4s can make it on a full tank. I'm not certain, I don't know. Okay, coming in. Look who's right behind me. Pit stop's valid. Repairs are still on. Oh, it's pretty much bang on. I'm superb at pit stops. Oh, 25 seconds. Yeah, I know, I just said, I guess who's coming the pits just behind me. 15 seconds. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Off your jacks. Have fun. I shall leave you in peace. See, Martinez has jumped into the pits because of the repairs. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry, Omar. I've just seen your comment there. No, I don't think we got any stability. I don't even know if these cars have stability systems. No, I don't think it's on. I wouldn't have it on if it did. Oh dear. Murphy's off to a bad start. He's going to claim it's my loose setup I made for the car. Keep calm. 45 minutes. I think this is the disadvantage I was touching on when I was talking to Morpheus on Discord when I was in the car. He's got no feel for the car whatsoever, what the grip levels are on the track. It's been ages since he had a chance to drive around the track and understand how the car feels on the setup. So it's a big disadvantage. Whereas if I had just done that pit stop and rolled out, I was in a groove, was in a flow, and that'd be way easier for me. So those teams that aren't teams that are just one driver have a much easier time when it comes to pit stops. Oh boy, I'm warm. So unfortunately Martinez is nearly 10 seconds away now, unfortunately. That's a shame. So P13, let's see what we can do. We've got Castella, Joe Castella behind us, he's pretty fast. Cowie's fast as well. I don't think I was ever going to get Catalin in either me or Morphy. He's 30 seconds up the road. So let's have a look at the time. So we return to the garage. I wish you could hide the chat window in here. So we'll have a look at the timetable. So Fernandez, we got GT4 and Aston Martin in first place. And Holmes made it up to P18. Looks like Morrison and Mercedes is... Oh no, it says 27 laps. It looks like it's still running, hopefully. Oh dear, Eugene won't be happy. He's down in 20th. Looks like the Alpines are really struggling. Both Alpines are in towards the end of the field in 18th, 19th and 20th. So we just jumped straight into this broadcast with very little explanation. In addition to the Drivers' Championship, which is either individual drivers or teams of two, there's a Manufacturers' Championship. So the Ginettas are doing very well out of this race. The Ginettas are clearly going to be in the lead because they're going to take the average points for the manufacturers. So the Porsche Cayman, for example, by winning, might get 100 points. And then Martinez in 11th might get 25 points. That's 125. And then they average that out, divided by the 2. Ooh, maybe if I made 150, it'd be easy for you to work out. But you get the average of the 2 Porsches. But with... Oh, one of the Ginettas must have pitted just now. So maybe the Dukes was a bit further ahead than his actual position. So maybe the... So that goes Ginetta in 10th and 3rd. Aston Martin, we're the next Aston Martin currently in 13th. Oh no, it's Chevy Camaros. There's one in 3rd and there's one in 5th and there's one in 9th. So the Americans will be winning the Manufacturers' Championship for certain. I think if we're going to the end of this race. I'll do my usual after this race. I'll start on some tables that I can show in the broadcast to keep us updated. Got to have a bit of a moment with somebody somewhere. So I can switch to different cars. Wow, that was an interesting line, Penfold. I don't think I can change cameras. Oh, I can change cameras, there you go. So, where if I can't get rid of the map, unfortunately. So where's the closest battle? We got Fernandez in 2nd place, and that right behind him is Bird in 3rd. So we've still got about 30. We've got 34 minutes left to go in the race. And at the moment, Ribeiro, in the Porsche's in front with a good healthy lead of nearly 6.5 seconds. The battle of 2nd and 3rd is pretty tight, with an Aston Martin. So Porsche's moved to the front, Aston Martin in 2nd, and the Americans in 3rd place. The Camaro is quite popular. It sounds brilliant apparently. But I do recall doing a test drive in it and I felt like I was upstairs in a bus. I was that high up. Sims in a Ginetta. Everybody was saying the Ginetta will run out of puff on the straight. Oh, it's a bit battered. The Ginetta's been in the walls at some point. And he's just got to cross the start-finish line to be on the same lap as Bird in 3rd. But it looks like he's under attack from Igor. Igor's making a go at the inside for T1. He's made it stick. So Igor moves into 4th place, pushed Sims down into 5th. Made that look not too difficult there, did Igor? Looks like the Chevy's got quite a bit of grunt on it. The Ginetta, the word was it wouldn't have enough. It runs out of revs. He actually hit the engine limiter on some of the straights. So if we go to, say, Suzuka or Paul Ricard, the Ginetta could be in big trouble on the long straights. Just looking at my own teammate. So there's a 9-second gap to Gand, but there's a 6-second behind him to Cowie. So he's looking good, really. He's safe in 13th at the moment if he can put some nice consistent laps in and just keep his times on parity with those around him. Everywhere else the gaps are pretty big. It's at the front of a race really. So, Bird, something must have happened to Bird because he slipped one on about 1.2 seconds now behind Fernandez. Must have just missed that incident. One of the Alpines in front of him. Now the Alpines, clearly there's I know when we were trying cars for the 12 hours of Suzuka, my teammate for the 12 hours, Eugene, said he tried the Alpine and it's sort of like in a reverse setup, the front's higher than the back, so the car's always trying to take off. So he was interested in the Alpine, but he said it was need a lot of work on the setup to get it drivable. But looking at where they're positioned in the race, I know Eugene's quite quick. They're really struggling. And I think also I heard Wilson saying that the Mercedes was more than a handful as well. So it looks like Wilson's struggling with a Mercedes to get it round the very tight and twisty Zandvoort track. So Chevy's in 3rd and 4th. That'll give them a really strong start to the team championship. A Porsche in 1st is a good result, but the 2nd Porsche is down in 11th. Martinez, who certainly outbraked himself, ran into the back of me and caused some damage, which we had fixed in the pits, and that allowed Martinez to get back in front, which is a bit of a shame. I'm wondering why my stream appears to show a just the blooming advertising boarding. Let's make sure it's working correctly. Seems to be having lots of technical issues. Yeah, why is that not showing any picture? It's something really weird going on with my computer. I don't know why that isn't showing. Because... oh, God almighty. What's wrong with it? Oh, no, we're all right. It's just a freak of nature. I thought it was all broken then, nearly turned the whole bloody stream off. Thank God I didn't. So, it's just behaving very strangely. Is Chrome with YouTube these days. It keeps freezing. Very odd. Okay, back to the race. Focus on things that are important. So, well, the Aston Martin's really pulled away from the Chevrolet Bird. The gap's now 3 seconds. So it must have been a result of the pit stops, perhaps, about where they were positioned. And there's no real close... Martinez on Gand. Well, it was a little warm, fuzzy feeling inside. Martinez was the driver who ran into the back of me by outbraking himself. So it was pressurising me for many, many laps. The trouble is, Murphy's slowly dropping away. And, it's working on there. Well, he's having another moment there, Murphy. He complained the car was a bit loose and it's clearly not suited him. We need to work more together on setups. But I was really able to throw the car around a lot and get a lot out of it. So it's something we need to look at. The GT4s are very loose. So the driver behind Murphy is Cowie. Yep, he's right behind him now. So looks like Murphy might lose another place, I think. The way he seems to be struggling a bit. So Murphy's still trying to hold him off. We'll get rid of the map, but I can't. If I do, I'll just be sat in the car. Oh, will I actually? Let's go to drive. There we go. It's better. So Cowie right behind us. This is foul position, so Murphy's got to keep it tight, keep him at bay. I think Martinez was about 12 seconds away, I think, the car in front. Gann's really getting on it. Gann's gone past Martin as well now. So Paul Martin was in our tier, so it's a driver we're familiar with. And Dukes was driver number 1 in Miginetta. So Murphy being pressured. The BMW just behind that Cowie's in is the car that we're using for the upcoming 12 Hours of Suzuka as well, so it's not a bad car. He's done it. Cowie's got past and it looks like he's pulling away straight away. Of course, I happened to be looking away when it happened. Oh, it's on my little screen down here. Murphy left the door wide open there, really. Didn't seem to fight it too much. So I think this is the... I haven't got a mouse for anything, have I now? To be able to choose another car. stuck looking at Morphy if we don't want the map on. Cowie did appear to have better speed. He's a second away already. So the next real objective for Morphy in the next 26 minutes is to try and keep Castella behind. He's 14 seconds behind us on the road. Let's get back to the timetables and see what's going on. So Ribeiro still in front. No indication of the gaps. 5 seconds to gap back to Fernandez in the first Aston Martin. Bird appears to be pegging Fernandez. It's been a few laps now. It's been 2 and a bit seconds. Sims is under attack by Voodoo. Voodoo in the Audi 213. And who's that? Is that Zapata? It is. So the green and white Mercedes of Zapata is also involved in the fight. So a very close battle between Sims, Zapata and Voodoo. I think these are all drivers from the same tier. .24 minutes left. Still Voodoo, Zapata and Sims. Very tight fight. Wish I could get rid of this overlay so you could see it a bit clearer, but it's not possible. The one of the Ginetta doing pretty well. Martin's keeping Martinez in the Porsche behind him. So the gap there's a second. 12 seconds back to Cowie, and now 3 and a bit seconds, 3.8 seconds back to Morphy. Castella's at 15, so it looks like Morphy might be pegging that time at the moment. He just needs to keep focused. Wilson down in 19th, won't be happy with that. I can only see one of the Alpines. Has Eugene called it a day? Has he been struggling too much or suffered perhaps a disconnect issue? You know, one of the Alpines has gone, one of the Mercedes has gone. Will hurt. Well, the Alpines were going to be in for a struggle with them both struggling, I presume struggling with the car way down the field. We're not going to get many points for the team champ for the manufacturers championship. And one of the KTM's down in 18th, and the other KTM's just gone as well. The other KTM has either disconnected or exited the race. They were commenting prior, the KTM is more than a bit of a handful, so they must have got a little bit of a short straw. Oh, looks, is that an attack by Voodoo? He had a look at the inside. Sims keeps away, and Penfold now 0.8 seconds behind. No, 1.3, so he closed it a little bit, Penfold, then fell back. Zapata, who was involved in this fight, has pulled the gap, so perhaps Sims and Voodoo are fighting each other too much, letting Zapata pull away slightly. And we can see on the mini-map, as the red dot is 213, that is Voodoo. A whole bunch of drivers already grouped up. If we look at where Morphy is, 211, he's just here. So it's nice and quiet for Morphy. The track's not packed full of cars, or he's not got blue flags yet. We weren't too far from blue flags, I think, when I pitted in, based on the difference in speed with the front runners. So Penfold in shot now, 203, the McLaren, with the black, white and yellow livery, very close to the Jensen Button livery. Voodoo in the centre of shot in the Audi, and just ahead of Voodoo by 0.8 of a second it was, now it's just 0.4. Is Sims in the Ginetta. See Voodoo, clearly Voodoo's able to close up in some of the corners, but if Sims can defend well enough, he'll pull away again in the bits of track that suit his car more. Voodoo getting a very good exit there out of the bottom hairpin. Long straight. It's very difficult to get past. There's really only one line, and Sims sort of firmly closing the door on Voodoo, making sure he can't get through. Penfold's having a look. He just, might have just seen him in the wing mirror off to the left. Voodoo's there again, pushing. Sims has put a tyre on the grass. Is that enough for Voodoo? Give him a chance. Sort of opportunity you're looking for, but Sims looks like he's held it together. Ooh, big moment there for Voodoo. Looks like he lost the rear end a little bit. So we're getting very close together, these three drivers. And looking at the map, it's a real gaggle of drivers that are all close to each other. I don't know what's happened to Castella, but the gap between Murphy and Castella is now 17 seconds. Which is good news for us. In terms of the Manufacturers' Championship, it'll be interesting to see on the table when it's finally worked out. It's quite a complicated calculation where Aston Martin will be, because we're going to have looks like a second place at the moment, and then a 14th and a 15th. Oh, Castella's dropped behind Holm. So Castella's dropped a place, and Holm perhaps now is the threat to our position of P14. 14 seconds. Holm was quite quick. I let him through. He was a lap down. Something must have happened to Holm at the start of the race, or his teammate, if he's in a team, and he was a lap down. And being a Manufacturers' Championship, we made sure we let him through when he came up behind us. Oh, Penfold was well off the track then, but he's on the outside of Voodoo at the moment. Too busy looking at where all the Aston Martins are. Looks like Penfold's got it over Voodoo. Or has he? Because he's very wide lines. Voodoo looks like he's got the racing line. He'll have better traction and better speed. And we've got Catalin Sazu right behind them. Well, Voodoo's suddenly having a bit of a nightmare. He's just sliding backwards if Catalin gets back through on him. We're coming up to the chicane, so Voodoo's got the inside for the chicane. Depends how much Catalin will hang it out there in the Chevy. Oh, he's very tight, very tight. Voodoo's giving him space. I think Catalin will close the door on him. And Catalin had slightly better track position there because Voodoo was forced wide around the chicane. So Catalin moves up. So big problems there for Voodoo. Slipped back 2 places in just a few corners. And Murphy has got 17 minutes to resist the pressure of Holm slowly closing in. It's 12.6 seconds. So if we can just keep it, well, we keep it even 1 second a lap, he'll be closing in with 5 minutes to go. So it needs to be less than a second that he closes the gap. Well, the upside will be is Holm will be under pressure from Castella, who's right behind him in the BMW. So hopefully if Castella can keep the pressure on Holm, that'll distract him from closing in on Murphy. But already the gap's 11.9, down from 12. So speaking completely partisan, we need Castella to close up and get home looking in his mirrors rather than looking forward at us. Yeah, there's some sort of strange update gone into Chrome, and now YouTube just freezes on it, and looks like there's nothing happening. I've been struggling to watch stuff on Chrome today on YouTube. I had to switch to the bloody new Microsoft browser. What's the world coming to? So Castella is slowly dropping back from home now. It's 1.3 seconds. Still within touching distance. Could all be made up in a corner or two. Martinez is right on the back of Martin. I'll have to go back perhaps and look at the incident where Martinez drove into the back of me. It was the end of the main straight. Oh, he's got a better line there. Looks like Martin may have made a mistake. Martinez is through. Martin, what you doing? It's not what we need. So that puts Martinez into 11th. Martin down to 12th. Still in close contact. He's going to have to push hard to get that place back. And Martinez is back into 11th. I think that was yeah, we were 11th when we pitted. It's a shame. We could have been there. If only Murphy hadn't gone for the repairs, you see. That's when Martinez got in front of us. Oh, what a shame. Gap now from... Oh, Martin got a bit too ambitious there. I think he got a bit close and had to brake hard. Just let Martinez pull away a little bit. And home is now 8.8 seconds behind Murphy. And at that rate of closure, home's going to catch Murphy up before the end of a race. And Castella is slowly dropping back from home. It's 2.2 seconds now. A lot of his drivers around us were in higher tiers than us. Now Castella was in tier 6 last season round. Just trying to look, see if I can see where Ribeiro was. There were some very last minute changes. No, Ribeiro is not a driver I'm familiar with. Couldn't find any mention of him in the previous Assetto Corsa Competizione divisions or GT3 racing. So Martinez is pulling away now from Martin. Martin finished 7th last season in the 4th season of GT3 Assetto Corsa Competizione in tier 7. So he was ahead of me, for which I'll never forgive him, of course. But Cowie, who's behind, was actually technology. Don't you just love it? He was in tier 6. I've got a nice spreadsheet I've made, which acts as a handy reference, but every time I click on Assetto Corsa it hides it, and it won't leave it left open so I can see it. So that's just, thank you technology. So drivers that are of note, Catalin in 8th place was season 3 tier 5 champion of Assetto Corsa Competizione in the GT3 class, so he definitely knows what he's doing. And Matthew Hill, but I don't think he's here tonight. Oh, he is. Matthew Hill, KTM. Was actually Tier 2 champion in GT3 in, I presume, Project Cars 2, season 14. That's the only one that has gone on that long in GT3 class. And in season 4, he was in Tier 6. He finished 10th in Tier 6. So obviously, we're cursing Cowie by looking at him. We'll leave the poor guy alone. So Home is now just 3 seconds behind Murphy. He's closing in fast. He's gone for a white and gold. That reminds me of a cigarette brand. Can't remember which one it is, because you're not allowed to do cigarette brands anymore. It definitely reminds me of Embassy Number 10 or something like that. No, it's just 2 seconds. And with 10 minutes left in the race, and the gap that Holmes closed into Murphy, you've got to worry that it's just inevitable at some point he's gonna squeeze his way past. Stella has not crossed the start-finish line yet, I think. Yep, 5 seconds behind. So Ribeiro still in front in the Porsche. 209. And my God, that is a shocking pink colour. You wouldn't miss that one coming. I think he's only in first place because he's possibly sprained the eyeballs of any other driver who's come up close to him. Wow. He's pulled away a 15-second gap now on Fernandez, who's gone for a not too dissimilar colour for his Aston Martin. They're clearly going for the vivid purple is the way to go. So Fernandez in second in the Aston Martin, and Bird right behind him. Bird just coming into shot now in the Chevy. So Bird's held on to that. He's stayed there for a long time, keeping Fernandez honest. It's quite a gap back to Igor. 16 seconds back. That's a much more calmer colour there on the old Chevy. That's easier on the eye. Igor's in no man's land really. It's quite a gap up to Bird in front of him. He's got to cross the start-finish line. He'll get 16 seconds. I think it was 19 seconds back to Zapata. So Zapata's in 2:07. So Bird's just going around the Tarzan hairpin at the end of the start-finish straight, and Zapata's only just coming onto the start-finish straight. So the whole length of the start-finish straight gap between them. Zapata doing well in 5th place. And then the next driver is just crossing the start-finish line as Zapata enters the Tarzan chicane. So here's Penfold in 6th. And then 2 more seconds back to Sazu, who must be just coming through to the start-finish straight now. Oh, he was on the Tarzan chicane. So yeah, he's just 2 seconds. So he's right, not too far behind Penfold. Whether he can close in, because these were all together not too long ago. From Sazu, it's another 5 and a bit seconds back to Sims. Another very purple Ginetta this time. Looks like it's been in the walls a little bit. And still Voodoo is just behind Sims, 0.3 of a second behind, right behind him. These two battling all the way through the race. I'm sure they've had a pretty good time. And a driver we were almost in contact with at one point is the next driver down the road. So Voodoo at the top of the track, and 226 just starting the main straight up to the back end of the track. I say straight, it's a bit of a wiggly line, but it's straightish. Gand, we were almost within touching distance of Gand at one point, but once a bit of a battle had cleared and they stopped fighting each other, Gand just slowly drove away from me when I was in the car. So it was a 23-second gap from Voodoo down to Gand. So top 9 I think are pretty secure. That's a big ask with just 7 minutes to go. Martinez is 6 seconds behind Gans, so he looks fixed in 11th position now, which was, of course, our position at one point. Lucky boy. Then behind, Martin steadily dropped back from Martinez, so Martin looks pretty solid in 12th place, because there's a fairly good gap back from Martin back to Cowie. whose BMW has been in the wars a little bit. And then Home has finally passed Murphy. Must have just passed him in the last lap or so. Well, the gap from Cowie back to Home is 18 seconds or so. And Murphy just there in the background. Now in 15th place. Car's looking a little bit dirty. What's he been doing with that car? It was very clean when we handed it over. Nothing to do with it having been fixed in the pits at all. Well, it doesn't look damaged, just looks dirty. Dirty is no problem. So, hopefully it's all hanging together okay for Murphy. It's a further 5 seconds back to Castella, who I think we've heard say looked like he'd been struggling a little bit in the BMW. I think a few times when we cut to him, he's been a little bit off track at times. So, with 5 minutes to go, he'd need to be making up a second a lap at least on Murphy to be able to stand a chance of taking away that 15th place. So we're looking good for 15th, which isn't fantastic, but it is a very mixed set of drivers here. There's lots of different tier drivers, so different capabilities. And then Rossetti in 224. So Castella's just going around Tarzan, and Rossetti's just entering Tarzan, so it's not much of a gap. Feels on paper it's further than it looks in reality, 5 seconds. So, you know, the gap between Murphy and Castella could close quickly if Murphy has a bit of a moment. Interesting. That's a very eye-catching colour scheme there for the Alpine. I like it. It's not your run-of-the-mill. And Paul Wilson. I think the Alpine and the Mercedes and the KTM have been very difficult to drive at this track. Wilson's not a bad driver. He did pretty well. He was in the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship for the last season in GT3, but I'm not sure he's enjoyed his trip in the Mercedes tonight at Zandvoort. And still going. I think there's all credit to that because a number of drivers have dropped out. Is Hill? Don't tell me I've spoke too soon. Hill's pulling into the pits, so hopefully he's not going to pull out the race. Let's keep an eye on this, see what happens. He's quite a way down, but let's hope he pulls back out again. Maybe he's misjudged it and he's a bit low on fuel, perhaps. We've only got 3 minutes to go. Can't see somebody pulling out the race with just 3 minutes. And he's missed his pit stop. The eternal nightmare in ACC is getting into the pits well. Soon find out if he pulls away in the next few seconds or if he disappears. Can't see anybody wanting to pull out of a race though with just 3 minutes to go. Done all the hard work. Looks like Sazu has closed in on Penfold. We'll give Hill just a few more seconds. Bird's well up on Fernandez, so I think we're going to have to go and cut to that battle. So this is Bird's in third place, Fernandez right in front of him is in second. We've got 2 minutes to go. So this could be last chance really for Bird to make it past Fernandez. I have to see that being quite a difficult task though. Fernandez has been there for a long time in this race. So with 2 minutes to go, when the 2 minutes is up, the next time Ribeiro in first crosses the line, that'll be the last lap. So Bird, I'm going to look at the inside, but wasn't close enough to make it work. Or has he put Fernandez off? Well, Fernandez had a moment there. His rear end stepped out. He's opened the door. So Bird's putting it there. But that's difficult to make that corner from the inside. You really want to be on the outside, and that's what Fernandez used to his advantage. Knew that Bird wouldn't be able to get around the corner, and Bird wouldn't, I think being a professional driver, wouldn't let his car just slew into Fernandez. Not when they've been second and third for this long. And even thinking tactically, a third place in the first race is excellent points to take away, especially as both the Chevys are currently in third and fourth, putting them in a very strong position on the opening round of a championship. One minute to go. Where is Ribeiro on the lap? 2:09. He's just coming down to the chicane. Oh, he's just in front of his driver. Somebody's had a spin right in front of us. It's Hill who's had a spin. Poor KTM driver. That KTM clearly is a bit of a nightmare. So Hill did come out again. I imagine we're going to get some comments after this race about how horrible KTM is to drive. I know I had one go in it and it didn't last very long. It was not an enjoyable drive. But that's part of a challenge. 22 seconds, so, and Bird has another look, but there's a switchback, gets on the outside. But Fernandez has got the better line for accelerating. So Bird is trying. Fernandez has got a little bit of a gap now. It's almost last chance saloon now. Because when Ribeiro comes round next time, Ribeiro's just at the top of the course at the moment. That'll be the last lap. So he's got this lap and the next lap to try and make it count. Murphy looks solid in P15 at the moment. Gap back behind Murphy to P16 is 7.5 seconds nearly. So hopefully he'll be okay in that. Just to illustrate. No. Home is in front of Murphy, but the gap's only 2.8 seconds. So, whoa, that looks a bit ambitious then from Bird. Got very close. No contact was made though, thankfully. Would have won that to happen on the last lap or so in the race. So Murphy's keeping Home honest, 2.8 second gap, but with just this lap to go, unless Home makes a terrible mistake, I can't see Murphy being able to mount an attack. Not like Bird. We'll stay with Bird, who, based on previous experience, is going to try something at the end of a start-finish straight. Looking for a good exit, really, from this corner to get most speed. You have to do a little lift then. Ideally, you want to be flat all the way through that corner. He's pulled out early as well. Not getting the benefit of the slipstream all the way down the straight. No, it's not going to happen. Oh, are we done? He's slowing down a lot. No, we're done. We're over the line. So there we go. Those are the final positions. Let's cut to Murphy. Murphy's over the line in P15. So we secure P15 for ourselves on the first race. Porsches get P1. Aston Martin P2. Chevy's in second and third. So Chevy's definitely pull away. Oh, Murphy. I've been off gallivanting looking at all the other cars. I've been commentating on the whole race for the whole second half to myself, I think. It's not bad. It wasn't bad. It's quite some close racing. I knew Holm was going to get you. He was closing in far too quick. Yeah. Martinez ended up P11, where we were going to the pits. He got Martin. Yeah, Martin, I think, struggled a bit in the Ginetta. He went slowly backwards. The Ginettas at one point were really up there at the front, but the Chevys are going to be winning the Manufacturers' Championship. They've finished third and fourth, and another one in seventh. Sazu finished in seventh, so they've got loads of points. But with a third, a fourth, and a seventh, that's loads of points even on the average. So Ribeiro in the Porsche was first, but Martinez in the Porsche, the other Porsche, was 11th. So their average is going to be a lot lower. Audi were 8th and 10th. So Fernandez in the Aston Martin finished second. Home just ahead of us was 14th, and you were 15th. Eugene in the Alpine dropped out. One of the Mercedes dropped out. Oh no, 2 Mercedes finished. One of the KTMs dropped out as well. And Hill was having a nightmare, I think, in the KTM. And had him down. I think he's won one of the championships, Hill. But he clearly the KTM was not fun to drive. Turn TC up when you exit the pits, perhaps. Well, it's worth it just to make sure you don't end up having a bit of a mishap. Oh, it was, we're only here to participate. We've got P15. We're off to a start. I see where the Aston Martins come on the table. Anybody saying anything interested in chat? Wilson. Oh, Wilson's hit home. Let's keep an eye on Mr. Wilson. He's been a very naughty boy sometimes in social races. Hey, I might go back and watch that incident there with Martinez. It was straight behind me. I think the GT4 is pretty easy to keep under control. So it just went in a straight line. It was hard to even tell I'd been punted, actually. It didn't kick the car much. But obviously he got hit because we had damage. And it's a bit naughty because he just outbraked himself straight into the back of us. So. Yeah, it nosed in, but did you manage to get a gander on how much time it wanted, or did you not look? Yeah.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Well, I think there's definitely something in switching drivers, and the difference it is for the drivers that just stay in the car. It's much easier, because I think I commented straight away about how I had a rhythm as I was driving, and it was really easy for me. You know, whereas if you just jump in the car, yeah. Yeah. No, it's quite a daunting prospect. So I had a good grumble about that in my commentary. That's what I was looking for, Discord, see if anybody chit-chatted in Discord yet. Okie dokie. Cheerio, bye-bye. Okay. Pray your ears, everybody. We're going to the main Discord. Oh dear, Eugene. I've just got some messages from Eugene. He did not enjoy his GT4 race. He says he's knocked on the head. Oh, there's nobody there? Nobody in the chat for... Nobody in the voice chat? Somebody started with tons of fuel and super low tire pressures. Okay. Somebody's complaining about driving standards. I'm not sure about that. I thought it was okay. Okay then, everybody. Thank you. I think that'll be the end of tonight's broadcast. That's race 1 of GT4. Next week, it's Kyalami. Again, I seem to spend my life at Kyalami. I just did a Porsche Cup race at Kyalami. So that will be next week on Friday. Next week on Tuesday, I've got a Porsche Cup race in the evening. And coming up on the Saturday of the 29th of August, so I've got my dates right, it's 12 hours of Suzuka. So we've got a very full calendar coming up in the near future. So hopefully you'll join us for that and enjoy the racing. Hope you enjoyed this broadcast, at least when I got commentating. In order, because I had a teammate, I really focused, really kept my eye on the ball and tried to really been on it for the race. So thanks a lot. Hope you enjoy the race. See you at the next race, and good night.